This is the inside of the Auto Trail F Line F62. If I firstly move to the main control panel, I can turn the 12 volt on just here. Once we've done this, we then have a picture of a light just here, and what this one will do is the front lighting just here. All the other lights inside the motorhome can be turned on and off on their own individual switches. We then have the water pump just here. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps, flush the toilet and fill the boiler if it is being drained down. We then have awning light on and off just here. And then this one here will give us information. So if we go back to the beginning, first of all, you will see that this is a Sargent E363 control panel. We're currently using the leisure battery. It's displaying the time in the center and the temperature. If I now press, you can see that it's now giving us a voltage reading of the leisure battery, and it's letting us know that it's currently under charge. Then we have the condition of the vehicle battery, how much water is in the fresh tank and how much water is in the waste tank. Select battery, so if I now press this arrow, we can switch between the vehicle and the leisure. Whichever one you've selected on here is the one you are using to run the back end of the motorhome, but also the battery that you are charging if you are connected to mains supply. We then have the internal temperature and humidity. Then we have clock adjust, just use your arrows again to adjust to the correct time. And then we arrive back at the beginning again. Beside that, we then have the controls for the whale heating and hot water system. And if I begin with this one just here, this is for the heating. You'll see we have plus and minus for temperature control. So we have maximum, and then we can drop it down, and with a little picture of the moon, this is what Whale recommends you have the mode set. If you need your heating on whilst you're asleep, it will keep the temperature at a comfortable 16 degrees. And then you can also drop it all the way down to here, which is classed as frost protection, which will keep the temperature of the motorhome no lower than 5 degrees. To turn the heating on, you need to come to these two buttons just here. If you want to run the heating on main supply, we have the little picture of the lightning strike here, and you can see we can literally, if I now turn it on and then hold the button, it doesn't work particularly well with my gloves, but as you can see we can have one blue, two blues or three, and these are the power settings. One blue is about 0.75 kilowatts. Two blue dots is about 1.5 kilowatts, and then three blue dots is 3 kilowatts. So this is all just dependent on the amperage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. If you have no main supply, so if I now just turn this off, you can run on gas. With the blue picture of the flame, it means it hasn't currently lit yet. Once it has lit and started working, it will go to an amber colour. If there is a problem with the heating, you will get a red exclamation mark, and then you'll get a series of little dots appear on the screen, and then if you look in the instructions it will tell you what the problem is. If it's something relatively easy, once you've rectified it, you will need to reset the control panel, and the reset button is just here. As you can see, it is all motion sensitive. As you can now see, it's now running on gas. And if you want to get up to temperature really quickly and you have both power sources available to you, you can run in dual fuel mode. If I now move across to the little picture of the water droplet, this is for hot water. And again, you've got gas and main supply. And again, if we hit the plus and the minus, we can literally drop firstly into frost protection mode for the boiler. So that will just keep the temperature at approximately about 25 degrees. We can run with a little picture of the leaf here, which is known as eco mode, which will give you a water temperature of about 55 degrees. And if I go right the way over to this part just here, this is maximum temperature, which is about 72 degrees. And again, whenever the gas is lit, you will get the amber appear to let you know. And same again, you can also run in either dual fuel or just on electric. And again, you've got your 1 blue dot, 2 and 3. And this time 1 blue dot represents roughly about 0.38 kilowatts, 2 blue dots 0.75 kilowatts, and then 3 dots about 1.5 kilowatts. So again, just all dependent on the amperage of the site you're on. And as you can see at the moment, we've got both of these now in amber, so both are running at the moment in dual fuel. When it's not required, it will turn itself off, as you can see. So it will not just waste gas willy-nilly. Directly underneath the controls for the heating and the hot water is the control for the electric drop-down bed. You need to turn the key into the on position to use this. And you then have full control over the bed on the buttons just here. If I now press the lower button, you'll see I can start lowering the bed, and as soon as I let go, it will stop. So you can drop it to any height that you require. So you can have it into the higher point and then just pop the ladder onto these 2 points just here. As you can see, you just need to undo the clips just here to allow the sides to go in, but always make sure that they are clipped back in when putting the bed away. That way they won't get caught up in any of the mechanism. If you are going to have the bed in the lower position, make sure that you have removed all of the backrest cushions, like so. And then you can lower fully all the way down. So again, if I now just press the button, you can then lower all the way down. I always do suggest that you turn the lights off just underneath here as well to avoid any scorching of any upholstery. If you do have the bed in the higher position, you can see you do have nets that can be put up and then clipped all the way around. There is a light up here as well, just here. Whilst we have some of the cushions removed, if I now just remove the rest of the cushions, you can now see that we have this removable board just here that can come out if you need both travel seats. If I lift up this section here, you will see that we have literally some storage underneath the seats. And then if I just stick my hand in and just push this section up just here, you can then see the location of the whale boiler. In here we have the drain valve for the boiler. So to drain the boiler down for winterization, it's just done on this yellow lever here. Firstly, make sure that the water pump has been turned off, and then it's just a matter of twisting across like so, and it will then begin to drain all the water out of the boiler. I always suggest that if you are fully winterizing the motorhome, that you also go around and open up all the taps as well, because this will help release any airlocks in the system and make it drain down far more efficiently. When it comes to refilling the boiler, make sure the lever's back into this position just here, close all the taps in the motorhome, fill up the fresh water tank and turn on the water pump, and then the pump will begin to reprime the boiler. After a few minutes, begin opening the taps. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out of the system. Once the water is running freely on both hot and cold, reclose them, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Also tucked in here you can see a couple of gas isolation taps, one being for the boiler and the other one being for the space heater. They're both in the on position and they can really stay like that. I always say these are more for maintenance. If you do smell gas in the van, go to the source and turn off the gas bottle. If I now just move this board out of the way and then just undo this part just here. Obviously this is used for making the bed etc as well, which I'll show you shortly, but also just tucked here is the consumer unit. So we have the trip switches just here. So we have the 3 individual MCBs, main RCD, test button just here. So if anything is not working on main supply, just check to see if you may have tripped. Beside that are the 12 volt fuses, and again they are all labelled up, so if anything is not working on 12 volt, just check to see if a fuse may have blown. We then have isolator buttons just here for components that use main supply. So if you turn the green one off here, the battery charger will no longer work and you will not be able to charge either the leisure battery or vehicle battery from the main supply. And then we have the amber one here, and again if this one is turned off you will not be able to heat either hot water or heating, so again just leave it on. Full system shutdown just here, so if you are not using the motorhome for long periods of time you can press this black button here and it will then kill any residual draw on the leisure battery. And now if I move across to the bench seat just this side and then just remove this part just here, you can now see this is the compartment that can be got to from the outside. We have the jack and wheel brace kit just here, and then we have the location of the leisure battery just here. We then have the main 12 volt fuses off the battery just here. Again, by undoing pop studs just here and here, this whole section can also slide out as well, and again this is what needs to be done when making the extra bed. So if I now pop this section back in, I will now show you how to make this lower bed. So if I firstly just slide everything out And when you slide this one out here, you will also find that there is legs that need to fold down just here. And then this section needs to drop into here. And then if I just do the bits over here, and as you can now see, all the other parts of the wood just go like so. So you'll see the larger one just here sits in the center. Then we have this one that all folds away, that goes in here, and then you will also see another part just drops into this part just here. So I now just pop this back into place. I can then begin popping all the cushions into place. So as you can see, most of the cushions actually stay where they would usually be if it was in seating position. So this one doesn't actually move, and these two here don't move. This one would be the backrest cushion just here, and then all you'll see is that I've slid this one across, and then the back cushion has then dropped into its place. And then you'll see that we have a slight gap just down the center just here, and that is what this infill here is for. As you can see, it's attached here and it just folds out and it just slots into the gap just there. The two wooden infills just stow in the wardrobe just here. So firstly, pop this one in, and it just pops in like so. And then if we then take the other one and then just pop this into place, and then we can then just fold over just here, and then it will lock it in. Also in here you can see the main hook-up lead, the ladder for the drop-down bed, and then tucked at the very back there is the digital amplifier for the TV aerial on and off just here. Always make sure that it's on if you're wanting to tune a telly in. Control the boost just here, and then pop the TV on the bracket just there, and then as you can see it can all be plugged in just in the corner there. If the bed was to malfunction, you'll see that there is a winding hole just there that connects up, and then you just wind it manually down. Also here we then have the relays for the bed and the main fuse. So if it's not working, I always just check to see if it has blown the fuse itself. Hob just here. This does not have electric ignition, so you do need to use one of these, and then it's just a matter of pushing in, twisting round and igniting. Directly beneath that we have the oven and the grill, and again if I now push in, twist to the left and then press the igniter, I can fire up the oven. And if I now go back to off, twist to the right, I can then fire up the grill. Directly beneath the oven is storage, and again some more gas isolation taps, top one being for the oven, and then we have the hob, the barbecue point, and then the fridge freezer. More storage with cutlery drawer just here. Freestanding table just here. And then in the overhead locker just here is the solar panel selector and regulator. So you'll see that we have a sticker just here which corresponds on the rocker switch just here. So if it's in the middle, the solar panel is inactive. If I flick it down, we're using the solar panel to charge the leisure battery, and if we flick it up, we're using the solar panel to charge the vehicle battery. Above my head here is the Omnivent fan. To use this, firstly wind the roof vent open, and then we have middle button here to turn the unit on, and then we have arrows out for extraction and arrows in for cooling. Variable fan speed just by pressing. Do make sure that all roof vents are closed for travel. Fridge freezer just here, on and off on the button. This is an automatic model, so as long as you are on A for auto, it will find the best power source it can for you. So because we're currently connected to mains electricity, it's put us onto mains on the little picture of the 2-pin plug just here. If I now ran outside and pulled the mains lead out, it would then automatically attempt to fire itself up onto gas. And then as soon as you start the engine of the motorhome, it will then flick itself over to 12-volt maintain to keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. As you can see, the screen will disappear and you'll just get this little blue light here indicating that it's on. If I now just tap this button, it will then just re-illuminate just to let you know what it's up to. And if we want to change anything, just hold the button in, and as you can see, it begins to flash. So if I want to take it out of auto and put it into manual, I can. So I can manually put it onto mains, I can manually put it onto 12-volt maintain, and I could manually put it onto gas. Once you've decided, press the button again, and then it will move across to the temperature control. And if I press it again, as you can now see, it's running on gas at level 3. If it fails to light, the blue light here will begin to flash red to indicate that it has failed, and it will also do this if it fails to pick up electric, or if, for instance, I now select 12-volt maintain because the engine is currently not running. Washroom just here. So we have the shower cubicle. Do make sure that the shower screen is clipped back for travel. We then have the basin, and then the cassette toilet. So to open to the cassette, just slide the grey lever across, and then blue button to flush. Level indicator just here, so this will rotate round to red to let you know when the cassette needs emptying, and then close back up again on the lever. If you leave this open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody has left this open. Both the driver and passenger seats swivel round, and they do that on the lever just here. Tucked just down here there are some more fuses, and again they are labelled up, and they are for more stuff relating to towing, etc. The feed from the vehicle battery to the fridge for 12-volt maintain, etc. So just, if anything like that is not working, just check to see if a fuse under this seat has blown.